Hi everyone, hoping that you all are well. Thank you for joining us for our discussion. We're going to be talking about the Yoruba OLORUN. We've talked about OLORUN before with respect to the kingdom that was on the west coast of Africa, but we're going to look at this name OLORUN and the construct of OLORUN and see how it ties Yoruba to Germanic culture and language. Yes, the Germanic culture that exists in Europe today and that existed prior to the Yoruba establishment on the west coast of Africa. So we're just going to first look at the Oxford reference for OLORUN, and you can see that it literally means owner. Also, OLORUN is understood as a sky god and is the head of the Yoruba pantheon. Now, while OLORUN is considered omnipresent, it's indicated that OLORUN is understood as the king who cannot be found by searching. And that term searching is important because it is a part of the construct that you're going to see with respect to this name OLORUN. We're going to start off with a little discussion about the depictions that are presented in popular media with respect to the Yoruba pantheon. You will often see depictions that have a superhero, Marvel comic, DC comic quality to them. And what this does is it serves to boost the self-esteem of those who identify with what is being portrayed. However, it doesn't do anything for getting to the essence of whatever is being depicted, and that is the case with OLORUN. And so you see this cinematic depiction. Again, this serves as a self-esteem booster for individuals who identify with this depiction and who need that self-esteem boost. But again, it distracts away from the essence of OLORUN. And so we're going to look at the essence versus simply these cinematic representations, almost like the Black Panther. Now, it takes quite a bit to track down the roots for OLORUN. And what you see here is OLORUN is related to Alruna, which is an old Norse version of the name. It's related to Old High German and even Modern German. And so you have quite a bit of a walk here, but what you ultimately have is Alruna starting off with A-L-R-U-N-A. And then you see it goes into the Old Norse, which is O-L-R-U-N. A couple of other things to note here is that this is a Germanic female personal name. And you also see these variations in terms of presenting the etymology of this name. You see so many variants there. But one thing I want to call your attention to is there is a root to it, which is the runa, and it is related to this idea of secret. And here you see additional information in this German etymology dictionary from 1891. And you see that this name is associated with mandrakes. This is very interesting because there is a narrative about Rachel and Leah and mandrakes. You also see that this name is associated with mythical beings that work secretly. Now, even though the name appears apparent on the surface and you see Alruna and you see OLORUN, there is a letter missing, and so we want to make sure that it can translate to the Yoruba from this particular name. And so you see it's detected as Icelandic, and this is in keeping with these Germanic roots. And you see when you look over in the Latin, you can see that it's already translating in the Latin. You also see the name readily translating in the Igbo. And then when it goes from the Icelandic into the Yoruba, you see quite a bit of nuance. And so we're going to look at that nuance. And when we look at all of the variants for OLORUN in the Icelandic, you see that there is one version that transfers directly from the Icelandic into the Yoruba. And so this is indicating that this name has roots in this particular language history. As we wrap this up, there are some questions for consideration. One thing to make note of is that, as with a number of histories, as you are surely discovering, the Yoruba history is fairly esoteric and shrouded in all sorts of mystery. And so, in many instances, younger people and older people from that particular culture may not have the adequate information that they need even about their own culture. And you see this with cultures around the world as a result of colonialism in many instances. And so one of the things to consider with respect to this dynamic is, where did this historical disconnect come from? Why isn't this relationship to the Germanic a part of the narrative about OLORUN? Another question is, why has this been ignored in the teaching of history during the colonial and pre-colonial period? What are the implications for Yoruba people and for others? And finally, what is the relationship between the Yoruba and Germanic culture and history, and specifically to the Holy Roman Empire? Remember, knowledge is power. Take care. See you soon.